Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pockets Full of Soup. This week, coming to you from the magical land of Canada. That's right. Yep. Welcome to this impromptu and guerrilla-style interview. I'm your host, Jared Petty, as always, joined on my right by the newlyweds. That's right. You are?
I am a Brian Woodruff, and this is my new wife.
Lesley Woodruff.
Lesley Woodruff. You guys got married last night, right?
We did.
And you had a Whovian wedding.
We had a wonderful Whovian wedding. And, Lesley, what are you going to say? Go for it.
There's a guest star of Peter Capaldi who said hi to us and our cat, which is pretty freaking cool.
They got married last night. They had a Doctor Who themed wedding, and then the Doctor himself recorded a wedding video for you guys that popped up as a surprise. Who arranged that?
My brother.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, because at first you were kind of like, okay, did he say our names? I think so. And then he mentioned our cat, and I'm like, okay, so this is definitely personalized. So it was unbelievable.
So to many Americans, especially those of us that don't live along the border, Canada really is kind of this magical mystery land that we're peripherally aware of. We have this ridiculously underinformed impression of the country so we know about the hockey, and we know they have a way better flag than we do. And we know you're real big, and something
and cold, and we're cold, right?
And cold, yeah, exactly. It's really cold up here. Apparently, that's what I hear, even though it's really hot in the summer, obviously. Yeah. And your prime minister is the guy who wrote Doonesbury, and something like that.
And he's like, all he's known for right now is that he's just super handsome and a feminist, which is awesome. We're not going to say no to both of those things.
Intelligent.
Oh yeah, I'm saying known for. That's all over the news. It's like, look at the Disney prince of a prime minister
or being
and his
topless.
hot bod. Yeah.
Topless. He was topless?
Oh, it was all over Canadian news. He had no shirt on the beach, and it was like everyone lost their minds. It was like, what?
Do prime ministers typically wear shirts at the beach?
No. And this was the funny thing. He got slack for it. And then I read this article that was like, look at all these political figures that are topless. And it was like the Clintons and Obama and obviously Vladimir Putin, the horse.
Oh, yeah. Him on that horse that's going to be. I wish that he could be a more comic character. You know,
it's like Dr. Doom. I mean, he is a comic character.
Kind of is a comic character. But like Dr. Doom, he is therefore vulnerable to Squirrel Girl. So there is that.
She's unbeatable.
So she is unbeatable, indeed. So again, keeping things different here for our number 5 episode. Guys, talk about, if you don't mind for a second, that strange American impression. You've lived overseas. You lived in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
A lot of your friends here at the wedding are American. Can you talk about what it's like being Canadian from the context of ignorant Americans?
It's interesting because we are so Americanized in general. Like, it's like our culture is so merged with yours. Like, I mean, we still say, if you ask anyone...
She's basically describing us as a tumor.
No, nonsense.
Not a tumor. But like, just examples, right? We use the metric system, right? Mm-hmm. But still, if you ask someone their weight, they'd use pounds. If you ask them their height, they would use feet. Because I think I don't know, it's the scales we buy, or I don't know. I don't even know what it is. But like, yeah, there's so much of us that is so Americanized. And then
we have our kilometers, which I'm pretty sure converts 1 kilometer is about 3.5 stone.
Wait! Now you're just being mean. Now we're going to stone. It's more weight, little Giles Corey there. But now you have fascinating Monopoly money.
Yeah.
Your money is brightly colored and comes in many different hues.
So you can see it at night.
You know what you're paying for. I find in the States, I'm like, wow, I got so much money. And then I'm like, oh my God, they're all $1 bills.
That's kind of what they look like. You're right. But and I think people like I didn't understand, but I mean, it's like bright red and bright blue and bright green. It's like being in a nursery school when I go and spend money here. It's great.
Did you there's also, the money has this weird smell, like it almost smells like maple syrup.
Only the $100 bill.
And
your $100 bill smells like maple syrup?
Yeah, and then we Googled it and they were like, no, that's a myth. But I swear to God, whenever I have money.
She Googled and found one place where it says it's a rumor, but I can tell you that they definitely have a smell when they're brand new.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's $100?
The $100.
So I just got this from
give it a whiff.
Smell it.
So this is the least colorful Canadian
Yeah.
dollar. This is 100 right here. 100
Yeah, that guy
Canadian
doesn't look
dollars.
happy about it
This is
either.
equal to about 75 cents US, right? I think that's how it works.
Burn.
Okay,
No,
there we
it's
go.
2.5 miles.
2.5. Oh, it does smell like maple syrup.
I know.
I am. Now, did you do that to my brain?
No, I have no idea. I don't know if it's me, but like every once in a while when I have cash, I'm like, it's gotta be, and I'm like, why did Google lie to me? I don't know.
Oh, tell me, do you smell it? Is this?
I mean, I've said before.
100%.
Yeah, but you
How
only
do you
found
not smell
one.
the maple syrup?
He did
Yeah.
smell the maple syrup.
I did. I smelled the maple
Lesley,
syrup.
you
You guys were up
the
late.
No, I just
Oh, how does anyone in
I
general?
just meant like generally.
Okay, this is amazing.
I know.
Yes, it
You
absolutely.
found
okay.
You gotta
one-
just keep that.
She found one Google thing that said that it didn't smell like it in an entire pool
Yeah.
of other ones that said that it did.
Here's a cool blue money. That's awesome. Love the
Blueberries.
Blue 5. oh yeah, there we go. It's like scratch and
Oh,
sniff
they're
now.
playing hockey on the
See.
5.
Oh, are they playing hockey on the
and
5?
there's a Canadian arm, the
Oh, no,
part of
they're
the.
not.
Purple 10.
Which is the one where they're
Look,
playing
look
the
at space.
hockey?
What's that?
It's the International Space Station
Oh wow! Whoa!
with the Canada arm.
You guys have the best. You got red 50s. You have green 20s. I don't think I have any 20s on me. All right. So magical lands. Now I've lived overseas.
You're giving
and,
this all to me, right?
No.
All right.
No, you cannot have that. That's like $6. But no, I really enjoyed exchanging the money at the airport. It was fun. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. He's totally kept some of that. I know it's still the 100's still there.
You got to pay me to be here.
So beyond that, what else, guys? So when you say we're integrated, but a lot of Americans are I think if I'm speaking generally, we're kind of ignorant of Canada. We only come up here to see your beautiful forests and woods, but a lot of Americans are not great travelers. Now, a lot of us are, but a lot of us, because the country's very large and because of a legacy of kind of American exclusionism, and also because, a lot of us are poor, it's difficult to travel. Yeah, or it's not difficult, but we make it difficult, and so we don't come and see what's going on here. What's something Americans don't know about Canada?
Ooh.
Something we don't know about you guys.
We're doing a great job defending you against the White Walkers.
Okay.
Wow.
So they're coming from the north then.
I-
Winter is coming?
We're essentially Starks,
Okay, you're Stark. So
which means almost none of us will survive.
I was going to say, wait a minute. I'm really worried about this marriage now. I was at a wedding. We survived it though. There was no redness whatsoever that I detected.
A lot of blue.
A lot of blue with the doctor. That was a fun wedding. One of the joys of being a clergyman is you get to marry friends sometimes, and it was really groovy. These guys had a nice laid back wedding, and wrote their own vows, and they were adorable and wonderful. And Brian learned to play. You learned to play the violin just for your wedding.
You're being very generous with that term.
Well, let's rephrase it. You spent the last 8 months.
Yeah, I ran out of time. Yeah.
About 8 months practicing a single medley.
No, I actually was. I can play a bunch of other songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I learned how to read music and.
And you did this. Why don't you tell the story, Brian?
Oh yeah, sure. One of the things I really wanted to do is we wanted to have a wedding that was just really relaxed. We've been together 8 years. If I can step back and at least say one thing that I think is incredibly important and something that's made a huge difference in my life and Leslie's life and the life of a lot of our friends is we actually met Jared in Japan, and when we met him and we through various amazing circumstances, one day Jared said, and I don't know if he knew that we remembered, but he said, if you guys ever get married, I would be happy to marry you.
I remember this. If I'm remembering correctly, wasn't it when we were at the campsite?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And Lesley and I, we remember that for years and years and years. And finally, when I wore her down and she decided she wasn't going to leave me, we had no second thoughts, no third thoughts, no fourth thoughts, just one singular thought of having you here to be part of this. We would not have done this wedding without you.
Now you are too kind there. I'm pretty sure you'd have married that girl still, that young lady over there.
Possibly. But
Lesley, how about this? Would you have still married him if I weren't around?
No.
Oh, you guys are silly. Thank you.
Together,
Brian's very complimentary. Leslie's very complimentary. You guys are sweet. You really are. Oh, by the way, you have great shoes on. I love those.
Thank
They're
you.
awesome. Yeah, I should compliment these. They the Doctor Who motif. You guys all had the chucks and the suits on
And the bow
ties and then
No fezzes though.
I can't.
No, true story. Like we were going to find Brian's shoes, and they had like a 2-for-1 deal, and we found the right color. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna get a female pair. You get a male pair, same color, and because I'm not gonna last in high heels. But halfway through the dinner, secretly, I put on my chucks, and then when we were doing our dance together, I lifted my dress up, and the whole crowd went, "Ah!"
And you had little chucks on.
Yeah.
Angie had wedding shoes on. She made wedding sneakers, and I didn't know about them. She did the same thing. She lifted her skirt up a little bit, and she had tiny, adorable wedding sneakers on. They were the best. I'm really wondering about something. The GoPro that I have has one setting. Kind people keep telling me that I can change the settings, but actually this one doesn't. This particular model, which I bought, which is the cheap one, doesn't do that. So you're stuck with a fisheye, which the effect kind of works for me, and I may keep it for a while yet. We'll upgrade eventually, I think. But I'm wondering if Steven there's a possibility that he's visible over there. Actually,
Hey, Steven.
Steven has been standing this entire time very kindly over off camera, we think. But we're not sure he's off camera. So if you're all right, Steven, would you like to come wave to everyone? Just say hi in case they've been seeing it. This is Steven. He's Canadian. Yeah. Steven, where are you from?
Montreal. Well, the South Shore of Montreal, basically.
So Steven's from the South Shore of Montreal, basically, which none of you could hear, which is why I have to repeat, which is what I get for shouting to people without mics off camera. But Steven, and Steven is, tell me the story of Steven.
Wow. This is, how much time do you have?
I don't know. It's your wedding. I mean, you're the one waiting for the wedding brunch. So
You're coming, right?
we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah. It depends on my flight, actually. I'm not sure that's going to work.
Fair point. No, I met Steven years ago, and he's put up with me. He's been an amazing friend, a confidant, a world traveler. He came and joined us when we did Southeast Asia a number of years ago.
Yep.
He and I actually went to Japan last September together. Yeah, one of my closest friends in the world.
I've heard tales of a trek across China.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
that was
with him
Steven too.
Okay, what is? Tell us about it. You have backpacked across rural China.
Well,
Not
we
quite
had
backpacked, it's a
help.
bit generous.
Our my brother-in-law, his brother Andrew, lived in China for 10 years, so he knew the lay of the land. So he gave us an itinerary and helped us book some things. So we had help. It's a very, very cool country.
So Andrew, and was he married to Mia at that point as
No,
well?
he
No.
got married a couple of years ago. Yeah.
He hadn't met her yet. It was
Okay.
BM before Mia.
Thank you.
I don't know. I tried. Okay.
No, he met Mia a week after I moved to China to work in the video game industry for a little while. While Lesley was visiting. Yeah, no.
Working in the video game industry, you're a writer.
Yeah.
Right? And you write. You've written for games, and you've written books.
Books.
You've written books. You just published a book.
I did. Yeah. Can I mention?
Of course.
It's called The Wandering World and Other Stories. It's a collection of short stories. I co-wrote it with a friend I actually worked in the video game industry with, Ian Morgenheim. Wonderful guy, phenomenal writer. He actually lives in Hong Kong right now with his wife. It's on Amazon.
Okay. The Wandering World.
Wandering.
The Wandering World and Other Stories. So WAN when you're searching for that by Brian Woodruff and
Ian Morgenheim.
All right. So you're an author. You've done, and your day job in Canada right now. You work in.
I work in digital marketing.
Marketing, right?
Yep.
Leslie, what's your vocation?
Oh, I am an HR manager for a group of insurance brokerages.
So you guys you have a wedding brunch to get to. So really quickly, I'm going to throw to each of you. Always on the show, we ask about people you're thankful for. Not necessarily the person you're most thankful for, just somebody you're thankful for. So quickly, if you guys don't mind, each of you, just who would you like to say you're thankful for today?
I think I'm thankful for this guy right here. While we're on the subject of our wedding. He's just wonderful, and all the surprises that he kept a surprise. There was his father made a life-size TARDIS, which was hiding behind a curtain, and the DJ put on like the TARDIS noise, like wow. I can't do it. Can anyone do it? I don't know.
I don't think anybody can without one of those little weird. What are they called? Theremins. Thank you. Theremins.
Yeah, and it did, the music came on and the screen opened and it was right there, and then the Peter Capaldi thing with your brother, and Brian knew all about it. He didn't say anything, and
That was hard.
Yeah. No, he does so much for me, and it's amazing how much he listens, and like it's just the little things where I'm like, oh, you got that for me. He's like, yeah, you said you wanted it. Just little things here and there that he just makes our lives so much better.
That video is an incredible surprise. Where can people see that? Can we attach that to this, or is that
Possibly.
Definitely, yeah.
We'll have to ask Andrew, but
okay?
I think so.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to impose.
Yeah, because we were gonna upload it, and I think he wanted to send Peter Capaldi, my reaction to.
Yeah. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, if we can get that, can we get that from Andrew? Maybe.
I think someone must
So
have.
we'll do one of two
Definitely
things.
check it,
We
yeah.
will either attach the video here, or if they prefer, we'll link to it later, because I'm going to be doing an edit and adding some parts here. We haven't thanked our producers. We haven't read the mail yet. So there's going to be a second segment tacked
Awesome.
onto this, and we'll either put the video in here or link out to it. One of the two. So cool, Lesley. So you're thankful for this guy. All right. What about you, Mr. Woodruff?
I might break book a little bit here. I apologize. One of the things that you really become aware of in a wedding situation, and I think in life, particularly as you get older, you start to recognize how important good friends are, and how much of an impact they can have on your life. I've been very fortunate in my years to meet some unimaginably amazing people. I count myself as being very, very lucky to maintain friendships with many of the people that I have so much respect and admiration for. Of course, you're one of them,
Ah.
Angie. We have a number of friends that we also met across the world who were able to come out here.
So you're Oscar speeching it.
And I want to thank my beautiful wife and they're giving me the light. They're giving me.
Yeah. But
supposed
who
to
are a
thank-
few of these folks? Give us, throw some names out there. Don't worry, you don't have. Again, the reason I usually have you pick one is because otherwise people worry about forgetting someone. But don't worry about
you're
that.
right.
Just throw the thanks out. Throw as many as you like.
I think you're right. I may need to pull back a bit. Let's see.
People know that. Yeah.
I have to say one of the people that I greatly admired throughout my life has been Terry Pratchett.
Oh, really? Terry Pratchett.
Yeah.
All right. Now, for those who don't know, who's Terry Pratchett?
Terry Pratchett is a prolific fantasy, science fiction writer, all-around amazing person. One of his most notable series is Discworld. It's just so funny. He has such a wit in his writing. I love it. It's unfortunate he passed away a couple of years ago, and for fairly terrible circumstances, Alzheimer's. But his writing inspired me when I was younger. It really put me on a path to write for myself and try to be enjoy life more. He took everything with such a grain of salt, and it was great. I read this story somewhere, and I hope it's true. But I heard the story that he actually went out and went meteorite scouting, and he got some meteorites, and he forged them into a sword. And if that is a true story, and I hope someone looks it up, and if it's wrong, still, for me, that is something that this man would do.
He forged meteorites into a sword.
Yeah, I think it was a Gibeon or something along those lines.
That's amazing.
Yeah, one of the series I really like is Avatar: Last Airbender. It's a cartoon, but it has such an amazing story to it. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, cartoons can have wonderful stories. I'm a big fan of that. All right, so if somebody's going to read Pratchett, where should they start for you?
Color Magic.
Color
Definitely
Magic.
Color Magic. It's the first one in the series that has Rincewind and all these other wonderful characters. It's
For my money, one of the all-time great titles of a book, Color Magic. I really think that's a marvelously intriguing title. I read that book not knowing who Pratchett was based on the title, originally. Or did I know? Wait, that might not be true, actually. Wait, never mind. Don't listen to me. that's different. But it's still a good title.
The Light Fantastic is the second one.
Yeah,
So.
but the Color Magic, great name. You writing anything right now?
Yeah, I have a couple other books in the works. I have a TV pilot that got filmed last year that's almost ready to go down and see what happens with it. It's called Dread and Breakfast.
I like pun titles, definitely.
I should probably at least mention that I worked on the entire thing with a very amazing writer, Matt Ewart, great friend of mine out of Vancouver, too.
Yeah, I think I was sitting with him at the wedding dinner last night, actually. We were talking, so.
He's a funny fella.
Guys, let us know. So this is a new thing. We're doing, as I said, every 5th episode, we're going to kind of throw the format askew to keep things fresh, and then we'll be back next week with our standard one-on-one interview. Let us know what you thought of this. Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy yourselves? Did you learn some things? And thank you so very much for watching. We're going to move to the mail and the credits here in a bit. But Brian, Lesley, absolute pleasure knowing both of you. Love you deeply. Glad to be here with you.
Love you too.
Love you.
All right. Bye-bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, all. We'd like to thank our Patreon producers, Xavier Saint-Amand Tremblay and Robert Nieder, whose generous support helps make this show possible. And also thanks to all of you who give on patreon.com/JaredPetty and support the show. If you'd like to help us stay on the air, you can do that once again at patreon.com/JaredPetty. And we're very thankful if you do. Also, subscriptions on YouTube. Thank you to all of you who subscribe there and who follow us on iTunes and leave ratings and reviews. That's very helpful. Those who listen on podcast services, I'd like to thank the members of the Pockets Full of Soup Facebook group. That's just such an encouraging group of people. But any of you that aren't a part of that, it's very easy to join. You can find it through the Pockets Full of Soup website or just by searching it on Google or through a lot of places. It's a great group of folks. Just lots of nice people there. And we've got some more plans for that in the future, too. So head on over and join if you've got a spare moment. You can also write to us directly at mail@pocketsfullofsoup.com. That's mail@pocketsfullofsoup.com, just like Nicholas did, where he left this message. I'd like to thank my mom for teaching me to read and for sharing her love of books with her children. Thank you, Nicholas, for leaving that. Also, Brandon on the Facebook group left this. I'm thankful for my Nan. She isn't actually related to me, but she was an au pair when I was a kid. She helped me through when my parents died when I was a child and has been like a grandmother to me. She recently had a stroke, and now it's my turn to be there for her. Thank you for sharing that, Brandon. We really do appreciate it. So, what's coming up next on Pockets Full of Soup? Well, we've got some great interviews already recorded now in post-production. Actually, quite a few. There's some pretty stunning stories coming up. I'm really excited. Thank you for indulging me in this little experiment this week. Every few episodes, probably about every 5, we're going to try some different things. I'd love your feedback at mail@pocketsfullofsoup.com or at PettyCommaJared on Twitter. Just let me know what you thought about what we did here and what we might try to do in the future. I really appreciate that feedback. There we are. Really would appreciate that when you got time. Guys, you have made this first month of the show absolutely incredible. And speaking of first months, as our first month draws to a close here, August 31st, very excited. Pizza and Dinosaurs presents The Thirst of Laser Dracula, Episode 1. It was a dark and stormy bite. Premieres this Wednesday for Patreon subscribers at a certain level. So if you're part of that, then look forward to our first episode of that, and I hope you enjoy it. That's just a silly thing I'm doing. And thank you guys who have been so encouraging about all of it. So we'll see you next week. And until then, I hope that all is well for you and that you find a lot to be thankful for.